Nyame do me nananom se serewenya.
Wa serem wenya.
Anti ye de nyame ase. Say yasen abehia ne.
Pepepe na otwini na ehia
na otwini na mini ha. Say me sere kwan. Aha. Then it is good to be back.
Is there Grandma, German Jana, or the mom?
Or the mom. You there?
Jump this as a mom, or the mom.
No.
Granted,
granted. Na Kwame Nenima propaganda we and minister also bomb or back.
Oh, question I maybe say simple. The chairman general be said there.
Are the propaganda ben our minister person?
Agalode.
Propaganda be you no me peda mu there so wa grantee.
Oh me grantee.
Grantee.
Propaganda yeje.
Ah yeah. Kokrokoo ba kuno kana say propaganda. Popo.
Zibi before the phone was a popo. Propaganda.
Angalote.
Yes sir.
Run man run.
Santana wo studio.
Apo me.
Kwami Yankopon adom.
Ide nyamiase.
Yankopon wa ma yehebio. Ndia dinsha na yeyi man.
That's right.
Nso yenye you.
Enyo eyi no so sana wa shift bi o. Sija Dr. James Atulinsi ne mami ni 1 weekend. Venue wa shift from ni mami ni fie wo Achimota ozo kwa.
The date na wa shift.
Achimota mall. Fighto. Achimota mall Nechipe. But that is a spacious place. You know, Dr. Lindsay's Doma. You know, in Bados.
Yeah.
We are expecting more than 1,000 to 2,000 people, even for the 1 week.
A lot.
Yeah, man. Oh, Ninja, Chairman General.
On the ground for the Domba.
On the opposite Domba.
Hey, my we don't want to go.
Oh, brother.
The Jew show us. Nay, I get last person boy you to Baba.
I want to again.
Let me tell you, the job is all your show back.
Oh, baby. The ebullience. Come not then. The loquaciously exciting Kwame Duncan.
Yes, sir.
If I'm find defatigable and come. Afone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. And I pay Mambo do animal that I landed that door.
Why?
I landed major one.
Oh, you no buku.
Ni buku. Kwame.
Chairman General.
Nkome mi ni dia sisi akonya new angle. NDC to petition Parliament Special Prosecutor over IMCIM report says it's an obituary of Akufo-Addo's failed Galamsey fight. Frimpong Boateng cites presidential staffers, ministers, journalists, ex-MPs in explosive Galamsey report. Allegations contained in the report are at best hearsay and catalogue of personal grievances, presidency says, or rubbishes IMCIM report. Professor Frimpong Boateng fires back at Gabi, Opon Kroma, etc. 4-year-old son, you know, Abim, 6-year-old Abim, 4th born in your keke. We obviously will not win this Galamsey fight, Kwabla.
Explosive man, what is shame?
No, yeah, it's a shame.
Explosive Galamsey.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Oh.
Because Galamsey in there, baby, I will do. I don't know. Current teacher said, Galam stop, Operation Vanguard. Why? I'll put my presidency on the line. MPP lose mining areas in Nanya based on Professor Frimpong Boateng kind. Say, I know near the before and near the bass and just Uncle Siri. Come any comments?
Chairman General.
Come now, bonfair.
Okase, we want and will we? I knew you made the man say, Anne, you beat me a D or corner soon. Say your pet.
Oh, before I may a Charles B. Sudiano son can say, or no Frimpong Boateng name when you can now Galamsey. These are some of the comments. Kwamna to us.
Yeah. Say ye kasi ye bedi nima. Ye bedi nim. If he say kwati kwanya ebinom fa so adi atu efamu agudie no. Enye sabia ebro Ghana yeso. Ye tu sa awodo a eson echen sa adi sunim. De medi ho ya ne se ebia we no. Opepa ene ahokeka se yedidi hu nim no ana se yedidi sunkunim no ye mfa enu ni djuma na kwame mesrew enkra bia menya no na wotwi mu mepese mede efam kakra bi aposi sahene minua pani Dr. Dampare wo mo adaroma ye wo TV station bi a ye police TV station mahwe kakra mahwe pen na obi a otahwe pa de nkra bi na ma me se e kame akoye se eye entertainment station enyomu na wo mo bo ni ade na onyaaya enka bambo hu dawuro a esese ye bo ema ye nyina ye ya hwe ye eko a aposifo nhwehwemu wo mo atimi ako adi bone so enkunim ye de eho anodesem ebetu dwa ahye omanfo nkran no ye de enumom etudwa wo saa television no so a nke beboa sen se akoye entertainment station no eti we de me fa wa video so
police for a TV station.
Yes, police TV.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Mashada. I've watched it a couple of times, but I'm not a regular visitor to that channel. Obi a wa to ne bo ahwe pa na ode nkra ya mame say ha adwen say station a ankaye bambo for station a ebedi bambo nsem hu nkomo no akoye enwumto ene agudie
Ndakono Ashen 24 hours.
That the person goes giving me this feedback.
Mr. Ashen in 24 hours a day, and it's all entertainment.
It's entertainment, music, or say obonyum them.
Well, every man why establish her. So why establish is on the way the man son was your programming as it.
Until making until whatever it is, no, or
he may be running ahead of himself. And so
what shall I say on Cherry?
I don't my FM, I will be what but
this is not a usual
man wash us and say that the programming about you do.
Minister message na mezaba.
Yeah.
Dr. Dampare ono obosom na ne division a watch stage television no so no. I wait now was the juma.
That's right.
Chairman General, second issue where the Miami experience.
From what I hear, a test transmission of
Test transmission.
Yeah.
The person is getting feedback.
The thing is that where they may buan come on the but in Shishemu say omunya your official launch.
Okay.
Na official, in fact, truth be told, me minister police for team. I'm happy say when or they are two jam. Omuye official launch. After that, they'll roll out programs now. Walk on. Into so far, what you're watching is a test transmission. Into be our monsono. Enka yenumbi na ufrefe yenumbi ankitimi chiremo.
Thank you.
They could have been scrolling. There was a crawl. This is a test transmission. BB, just to give information. Of fascinating. Be on be another there. A yensha agronasi. In a comedy sir.
Test mic.
Testing mic 1 2 1 2.
Is it a point?
He's telling you out of experience.
Yes. And someone minua penny Dr. Dampare and then a pump for my idea about my basso.
Oh yeah.
That initiative. Now,
watch them to don't go back. Watch them.
Someone bar, as I say, Omudi come no ebini.
Kabila. And some of you.
But don't forget also, sir. From what I know, no, Omo bought a lot of patriotic songs. Omo a lot of Ghana nyom. I was so near there. But Nina, I test transmission. Ain't I testing mic 1 2 1 2 1 2. 80 ebeba sopa na
minia wotie me fi say wanya nu ye Chairman General
and patcho interest obi so dia ba intino apply bia inti sanete test transmission inti mbeti enka right Mpacho kwamna to aso.
The atoso biom eye oman yi mu de yankasa ye ho. Na no me kodi djuma na otwe se na amantumi amai. Me kodi djuma bi wo Western region. Na chairman general me back no me ban me di plane and a buy. One more de me koye no anyame adom mu twa ticket ma me nti.
Otinkwa.
Nti that's it. Me bedu ye chairman general. Me fa taxi free airport aba me office wo Kotobabi haya.
Kotoka International Airport.
KIA to Kotobabi police station. And cheho. Taxi driver o makoye list bi ato ho. Okoyi ya. Baby a me kon 100 Ghana.
Sedenti.
Kwa mi hwana mi hwiri si ye. Me se me nanko. Me nanti freaking tampoko wenchi.
Na tena team na ono wan charge. Tena team.
Charge me fa me bag, me nanti ko gina kwa ho taxi driver bi buy 30 cedis. Eno kra no dai me ne kan o kan 30 na bedu ya me say the microphone no ye nti me ma no 40 Ghana. Tese me pese me twa adwin si bibi so say ye di e ho abro o man mu hadodo.
Questions. Usi na a airport taxi.
Kwa me.
Ebia na omo taxes ne ade omutua omoto ne ade omutua.
Emro enu.
80. Ebia anu ne ma ne ba ne
100
na je ben no bo. No mo so wo hwe wo taxi e so koso no bo.
Say kwabra ne wa wakoma police TV for fans. Amanko fast start korehwe.
Police TV ama ta mama mo fans.
Openyin kwache say o kan nti wa Sony TV call police TV. Na as he is writing the Boys and Girls Brigade are entertaining the viewers with songs. Wow. Okay. Openyin kwache Martin.
Okay. Tawaje ranti eno na me de be proper come na back to a topic out the my no. Obekaya sankomo e se de wa kan ne yedia na emu binum ye kon sa de yi enye ne o kwati kwan a ye fa so di tu efamu agudie no kwa me maka wa happen bribia na menua kuma minister Miami minister Samuel Abu Jinapo wo mu free conference on ending illegal mining me can say stakeholders ba ko a na esese nka omo ba bi pa eye wo mo eye legal mining big multinational companies no if you say me hwehwe ye mu no sa koti kwan e faso di tu famu agudie no eye fallout of years of impunity by most of these multinational companies with the open connivance of state regulatory institutions. EPA, Minerals Commission, police for, soldier for. Ye mauman for no who say ye for bonne soa. One more tea, one more from a good year hono. One more trust and yank ha. Dear Tosubio, Kwame. Mamray. Nano na me yemwana ye mikohunu say, Sa Rano Crano, a colonial law. And the amana da soti ya mamre no mu. Okohwe ya mamra no mu a chama general okay the minerals and mining law any the law on natural resources say ye hu efamu agudie wo ba bia o man no dia no man for na ete no they lose the right to sa ajapade na say efamu agudie na yakwa kohu ewo ehon mo no e ka ho bi e na ama sa na emai e koso me ka sa asem no me na me hwehwe mu mani da so ne say ani so di hunu ne say ye behwe ne yatu sa de no ho anamo na ye hwe kwan ye befa so ama emra mu nsakire ebi beba ye beye na ye de aboa ama niema etochema wo sa bia ye hon mo no ya tenetene ni nyina but ye front mo na ye ka ba besi se mampani ene na pamfo na soafo wo mo abo mo ho modin biara se eye kwan a ye fa so tu efamu agudi a ye tu no okoti kwan so no wo mbe so ano obi antimi enka sa de no encha no se wo mo ntu sa na mo no na mom anamontu no so no kwan a ye fa so atu no no Omanfo a ye wo Ghana ha say na yesi afo so minyi ni say ye nyina ye de ahoden baako adi akire say ye pese saa de no ye tu so sa ema friends e ba wie we haven't done that. The ntia me gidi say yenye saa de no ene say ye ka ebinom ka say yentu saa de no so sa na yenyae na ebinom so ka say yenyae ne yenyae ne kina ema ebi kra de ye campaign ema kwa me sususanso ye hu ye ewo 2020 general elections ana me boa good enti ekwa wi ase no na ye dan ne akase ye nyina ye pese sabe ye tu ai ano kan ko kan article 257 clause 6 na or say every mineral in its natural state in under or upon any land in Ghana, rivers, streams, water courses throughout Ghana, the exclusive zone, economic zone, and any area covered by the territorial sea or continental shelf is the property of the Republic of Ghana and shall be vested in the president on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana. Nipa na assassina ni diano. The moment you be who gold one, you say assassino will lose the right over it. Yeah. You see the ebe say ebia ebe mano. Oh, bibi on my mano mpata sika. Sadia we every they failed crown land bills, and I said the crown land law of 1897. Sabrina Aborigines Right Protection Society. Onko kuntia ye no. Sa one muna sa provision. By 1962 after independence, Kwame Nkrumah pencil ye ne this hamre ya share ho. Ya ba and it is still there. Serving colonial interest. Yan omanfo na nkasa de omo a assassin ye wo mo dia no. Ye say wo mo nka ho. Kwame wo ya sa de na nkofo ni bebre. But yamra de akoso enei. Chairman General. Let me say my shame who bosses has and me nka biom. Ade. But I think I will say it once again. Winning.
Meet
another classical case of intelligence failing or failure.
Ade.
Obin fumu okunini Frimpong Boateng kwabna Frimpong Boateng
your namesake.
Yes,
if I know namesake no
ai odi manim bebre me papa onye sebi nipa bi a obetimi aka se okasa ye betimi afa no sa but o share research mu a sources of authority no expertise ka ho the authority nipa na o kasa no ni nipa su eni nim de. But no enkyere say or your authority nti or kasa bia ye befa na saa. The essence of science and it's about subjecting every statement to inquiry. Now what can say asem no etisa ana entisa. If you say abin fumu okuninia kese mpo they get it wrong. Chairman General asem we abeto dwanne aye kan wasemi. Eye ano the same bia or the comma chief of staff. As for the ninyina so and I say to me or the koye no me nhwe ho me kind statement bia say a free presidency abano I was even the more disappointed.
Ade.
Kwame, have you read that statement?
Me too.
Enya nu yes say abano no. Me feel say afutu amede be ma Professor Frimpong Boateng me eba but me sre say obeti ma futu a
okra obeto so the third child and fourth child.
Because fourth no me every me shine fourth no
that be fourth your kojo pon kroma enti bia be third
but Kwame so the tibia no pani tu mofrafo timi tu mpanimfo ma desra me de be ma no enya futu okra na ya desra mon kasa biu.
Ade.
Oh, Kwame, wakasa bi. Watro bi. Nensem na watro ene de waka no. Eye. Minyaya enka wanka bi kra nto aso. Ana wonu muso a eyi na no no. Minyaya anu yie no se de esi ba no. Eno soso nke be dane kakra.
Onda nkwan.
Oh, because enko ye me ni say anu ye na e ba no ekọ
I know baby say na who cause am
one can someone told you though.
Oh me what say yanka asem to me so that
Bia on see them da.
So me the make can say said the usi yi na no
there's one thing.
na kwam na nche obedu do
Yes, my picture me this mara one thing I'm physical on using
yes
yeah uncle
and that's my position.
It's not easy but
there me more being say missing
no but once say within now you are no
me pa
just now advise them on so on kasa
me
that's the point
man kasa mo on kasa
okay fine on man
me see anu ye na e ba no and come done the way see ba na I thought your initial question was that in common can saying
man can da
come let me see you
no man can them so then you misheard me
okay
maybe it was deliberate
deliberate
yes
don't
because it is obvious Kwamina will go into overdrive.
Yes,
because
Kwame, it is so obvious. Yeah. I can even tell from your body language.
Kwame, hwɛ asɛm na ɛda hɔ no saa no wohwɛ ɔpani no ɛne dibiri a wanya pɛn ɛne nipa ko a onipasu a ɔyɛ
sɛbi ɔnya abofra
enti oyi n'ano na wanhwɛ yie a wo mmomwa no yie no ɛbɛyi wo ka instead sɛ wobɛma ɔno no deɛ ɔyɛ yɛ a anyɛ yie no ɛbɛda adi deɛ na mepa kyerɛ no efi sɛ mpani timi kasa ɛkasa ti na ɔnkasa ti a ɛmfomsoɔ na ɛwɔ wɔn kasa mu no ɛna ɛsɛ sɛ yɛda n'adi ɛsene biribiara ɛnyɛ ne nipa su anaa nipa ɔyɛ asɛm bɛɛ na ɔkaeɛ ɛnyina so bɛɛ na ɔde baeɛ nhwehwɛmu a aba so fa kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ asɛm bi a ɔtwerɛ gu nkrataa so a wɔamfa nyinasoɔ biara anta akyire kyɛmangyera nti woyi n'ano a ɛmfomsoɔ a ɛwɔ mu sɛ saa namo no a wɔtuyɛ wɔamfa nyinasoɔ biara ma na wɔn nkora a wɔbobɔ wɔn mu din no ebinom ɛyɛ n'afɛfoɔ na ɔne wɔn te cabinet wɔama wɔn ho kwan amusa wɔnom ama wɔn ani ano no ɛno no mfomsoɔ ɛwɔ mu deɛ ɛtɔ so bio ɛne sɛ saa asɛm no koraa no ɔwieyɛ no nsiakyire anaasɛ anamo bɛɛ na otu di akyire ɛhwɛ sɛ ade na ɔde kɔɔyɛ a na ofi sɛ ɛyɛ ɛsombo ma no paa no anamo bɛɛ na yɛtu afa ho ɔyɛ no anaa kyɛmagya na wobusa no saa nsɛmmisa mmiɛnsa yi a mefi sɛ me papa kɔpena from bɔmbo aten mmom na ɔbɛnya no yie kɛse ɛde ama sen wo na ɔbɔ wo din no yɛnam yi nyinaa da ne yɛsua o sinia yɛsua enti ɔbenfo mu okuni ni menim sɛ ɔno ankasa ɔbɛgye atum sɛ ɛnɛɛma bebree wɔ hɔnom a ogu so yɛ dɛn esua na wɔn akɔyɛ amanyɔsɛm na chama general ɛyɛ saa ayi from agudie ɛne allegations sɛ wei yɛse yɛmfa nyɛ adansidie ɛsɛ sɛ yɛnya nyinasoɔ yɛse yɛbobɔ companies din chama general ɛnyɛ den sɛ wokuta ɔman tumi a wobɛtumi atwerɛ ama registrar general abusa sɛ yɛato company bi din yɛfrɛ no Ogwa apartment and lodging ɛyɛ hwan na ɛyɛ ne dea sɛ yɛ enterprise o sɛ yɛ company registered by limited guarantee o anaasɛ sɛdeɛ ne tibrɛ anaasɛ deɛ si tie biara wɔ mmara mu no wokɔ registrar general wobɛhu ɛnɛ yɛpɛ directors of despite media anaasɛ peace fm chairman general with the appropriate channel use no yɛbɛtumi ahu wɔn mo yɛ directors of peace fm anameboa enti sɛ no ne adeɛ a esi yɛni soso paa sɛ yɛpɛ sɛ yɛtu wɔn anamo a yɛbɛyɛ adeɛ a ɛyɛ me ya ɛne sɛ yɛbɛbɔ nipa nyinaa fra aka sɛ wenum peace fm Kokrokoo Wednesday squad anaasɛ Wednesday team wɔn mo nyinaa ti say Kwame yɛte ano yɛ agree paa most of the time but Say the Messiah come asem a different from say the uncle Lutebe Canadian, a different from say the minister be Canadian. And this will be ko jina so ka say asem bia me kwa babon for me kan say sia sana minister kasaye sana uncle Lute kasaya. Now the person is not being fair to the two. Na dia kodroi national security asem a me di bam biu ene say me hwa ni mu say entempa ya mampani Uber assemble or national security and intelligence coordination team and get answers from them. What do they have or what do they know about this matter? Purported report. Other one from 2021. 2021 kwame yewo 2023. Imagine said the air pie by say nsemo papa no kan no sebi na ebosirimu kan ni pii no enti anamo be na national security here to preempt this report even before now.
But was the report made to national security? No.
I mean, national security is an octopus. It should be able to intercept. If national security didn't have this cross its radar, that is even the fundamental problem I'm complaining about. National security, Kwame, and only the architect holding national governance. Oh, here, bibia. Oh, a preemptive mechanism. Now, who failing in the preemptive strike now? Who stop gap measures? Response. Would the Bema proactive responses, mitigating strategies. If it's a Kwame, me shani mabia, me dream one, me ntiasia. It does appear say negativity no, dominate discussion no.
Well, can you blame anybody?
Of course, the people who should be responsible for micromanaging the conversations. And then I mean, no, say Kwame, nyamyadum. Dagbon crisis. And one sensem ne won kikawa. Enya de sa etaba biom. Mampani Akufo-Addo na penso building on the existing attempts and processes are one man adikan ehya ase Mampani Akufo particularly. He has brought it to closure. Nyamiadom free SHS challenges a woman nyinachi. It is producing quality students. In terms of resource, however, you have many challenges. Say you test other areas. 6 new regional coordinating councils. Infrastructure akoso. Chairman General. Expansion of the road network. Ankalote na inyanko me papa amakwata. Kwesi amakwata.
Sure.
Kwame nanu mishia nana kondua ewo baby. Elmina hine nana mecha wano pay. Kwame see defense wall across the country, the coastal belt. Yako minister Kwame na ne mame na yi no. I went to visit Uncle Katie Dazi. So we saw a hotel view.
No, down her.
Uncle Katie was showing me the massive work done along the coast in sea defense. Over the years, yaka and ne sade no so to Tony Adia and Yadia baby Kwame. Abiom TVET has become a focal point for education in Ghana. Me am missing a senior Che Asamoah, me chawa no pay, doctor. And Odano, Omu tu anamo bois say ebeya obi abewie no nanka wanya ne nsa no adwuma. 6 March. Na ye nti na bakosem da say betime free crime. Ene ye 6 March akọ Cape Coast, akọ Kumase, akọ Tamale, akọ ho. Me nimba bi be ko bio. Dakro ahwa na akọ du mi krom kintampo.
And one out thing.
Na akọ ayi Chairman General. But this is an initiative. These are things. Me mo Bob Bre me trust wa na maka cho say. Enema bi akokọ so na eguso koso. Am I be nom in this crisis we are see from no. Entimi ntua salaries. Anopa me so for pon bi a ode a video bi send me send the message bi ma Kwame. World Economic Forum said then. Omo a list of presidents in Africa. Kagame ye number 5. Your president ye number 1. Yet Ghana ha sometimes we even place Paul Kagame or no ni chrome one no cry and send be baby or no man phone him they placing above Ghana enti me ka kosi se mampani wa bo ho modern aye nema say ugusu ye adwuma Now what jama and kikawan kitenkite intelligence poor coordination information ministry mina kodo upon kruma up your game.
Peace FM.
Up your game. Samuja na ma brena muntimi nya adwuma sese mo ye de boa mampani na. Nothing stops you from resigning. Ebro mo so am resigning.
Kwama ne kwakra ne say.
Ne kwakra ne say. Me sa ayi asem ya beto ormo no. I'm not satisfied with your attitude towards so-called illegal mining. Galamsey no cry your friend no is wrong because Galamsey no corrupted. Galamsey originally gather them and sell. And think I gather them and sell no one more one kitinkiti and na omo de ba na ya kan bom na aton. Ade aye kan ho asem ye kwati kwan ye fa so di tu ye from agudie illegal mining. Yan friend illegal mining. They told to be one American say young Ghana for na nkasa no. Minister that no can say the verdict of the people has not been against it. The verdict of the people is that we endorse it. Enunti ana mampani ne party any on one kasa wo try the areas are yet to efam agudie kwati kwan so no a wo mo eto aba ho dodo na no etutia mampani no meboa what does it tell you? He's doing something they don't like. And I want so enya votes no eko kan sem bi kire wo mo a na nkrofo no pese wo mote nya atwom na medi we na ewie kwame mo say NDC for a press conference and almost say they relying on hearsay invite you say yemfe no and your judgment call on President Akufo-Addo. I'm not satisfied with the way the fight against illegal mining is going on. I'm not satisfied. But I will never sit here and say the president is a failure.
That's your opinion.
If for nothing at all, the daily exposure of issues around illegal mining is a plus. Say the government is not trying to cover up. Menka nipa bibriya. The young soldier who died.
According to Frimpong Whiting, he was guarding a Galamsey site.
Kwame, who authorized that?
But was he guarding a Galamsey site?
That's the question. Is it true? Why has the military high command not to date released that report?
His death is still a court case, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But the military high command owe it to us. The circumstances surrounding those soldiers going to that area. Kwame, in a democracy, transparency is a way out. Anyway, I'll leave that. Kwame, you leave it at that.
I'll leave the military to do their own.
Intimesre mampani ne the asama meka nyina me de kosua mampani say mampani look again at your intelligence subsector and the information management. You have a big deficit there.
Peace FM.
James Kwabena attending Kana. Good morning, Chairman General. I followed your discussion on the Galamsey fight from the NDC era to the current MPP regime. Unfortunately, in spite of the spirited and honest discussion by your panelists, the only change is the worsening situation of our deteriorating water bodies, including potable water in our forests. This is a war we need to wage to save this nation, devoid of politics. If we don't do this devoid of politics, our end as a country is definitely in sight. Let's wage the war, bury our political interest, and save Ghana. Senior, I wish, but Adani, the usual political bolobo. It looks like the politics has taken over. And then moving on beyond that, we cannot simply fight Galamsey because Ghanaian politicians are heavily involved. Daniel Ochre, East Hospital. Officer Toro says, imagine say you did do Galamsey forever inside and your Peking they demonstrate against your destruction of water bodies. How you go feel? Officer Toro, that'd be wild imagination. Our state institutions charged to see that the proper things are done in mining have woefully failed us, and government is also not serious. We have shot ourselves in the foot by granting concessions to people who apply to do small-scale mining only to engage in large-scale Galamsey, thereby destroying our lands and rivers. Kwejo Owusum in Ablekuma. Sir Obama in Pokwasi says, in all of this, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng's Galamsey report, one person whose door I'll blame fairly and squarely is the office of the Chief of Staff. They look like they're sleeping on their job. If not, Why would the Office of the Chief of Staff in the first place commission the good old professor to submit a report which represents his personal view rather than the Interministerial Mining Committee on Illegal Mining which he chaired? To make matters worse, you keep such a report on your desk for 2 years without an opportunity to any of the persons cited in the report. In other jurisdictions, the Chief of Staff would have either resigned or be fired after the leakage to the media. My government must sit up, say Obama, Pokwasi.
I'm sorry, this cannot be the true situation. The report wasn't commissioned. It wasn't Chief of Staff that commissioned the chairman of the IMCIM to do this report.
So, question: after the report was presented, what happened?
Yeah, I'm as the chief of staff.
Well,
I'm the conveyancing belt.
Okay.
To the president. Is that not the point?
So, should we assume the president has the report or had the report 2 years ago?
Yes, why not?
And what happened?
Yeah, but then you pose the question not to the chief of staff. You're saying that the chief of staff.
So maybe the office of the chief of staff should respond quickly.
Chairman,
Mary Kenya.
Chairman,
Mary Kenya, Eric Chichimi. What if the office of the chief of staff had responded?
Chairman General.
I can say we.
No,
What order of the see?
Sir, Eric Chichim, and I'm saying Ibia and Asimibo Tugwe. Nancy officer of the chief of staff, I respond. But why respond? More rubbish.
It adds more to
the entire report.
I'm Pocho. Okay, let me read the text message.
Okay.
Fine. So now we understand why the fight against Galamsey has been very hectic and not seeing any positive results. It's not about the boys on the field, but the strong hands behind the boys. Unfortunately, once we have decided to go with democracy, we cannot do away with them. I can say without any equivocation that the bane of our development has always been the politician. Francis Brakwa A. Kumasi. Chairman General, you asked if we will succeed against Galamsey. The fact that there was a call and action to fight it, and the president putting his presidency on the line is positive. Well, the Upon Kruma angle from Professor Boateng exposes him that he has a personal agenda, Nana Hesi or Jiri. Anyway, and then I totally agree with Kabila. He makes my day. Ebenezer Accra Station. The youth of Ghana are not happy enough celebrating Frimpong Boateng. His report is ill-motivated. He wouldn't have said anything if he was still a minister, would he? Kwejo Edupako Achim Esium. And Kabila has said it all. Any person involved in Galamsey should be dealt with. And Konam Foster. I'm disappointed in how people pretend to serve their state but end up lording over the same people who the power belongs to. There's honesty, Uncle Spy in Takrady. Professor Frimpong Boateng stated in his opening remarks that he was commissioned to compile the report. Please tell Kwamna Duncan.
Where?
I'll check.
You point me to that place.
Where is that committee?
Where?
That commission?
Where? I mean, the report. I've read the report.
Who were the members
from
of that
A
commission?
To Z. Where was he commissioned? Point me to that place. The texter, let him point me to that place.
The more reason why, when he was not commissioned, and all you know, busy body, cover report by him. That whatever information he brought should have been dealt with. If Kwame Obia or what intelligence
we will all come to our part of.
If I may read what somebody has just
respond to me. Yes. I don't have a problem. But
gentlemen, if I may read what I have. Report on the work of the IMCIM so far and the way forward. 1. Purpose. This report was prepared following an order from the Chief of Staff. I was instructed to present a brief report to the presidency about the progress made in the fight against illegality in the small-scale mining sector, and also to suggest a way forward in the efforts to contain the illegality. This is supposed to be part of what Professor Frimpong Boateng sent. Alitebrim.
Yeah, Kwame.
Now come na no musuka kramam. Na me wonder why wild.
Why charge it already?
I'll come to all of that.
Kwame, I'm highly disappointed in Professor Frimpong Boateng.
By the way, our next Chief Justice, God willing, is Gertrude Arabe Sabatokono. Our next Chief Justice is a lovely one. It's a lovely woman.
Osafata Brodo.
I'm so of me region to menu aje
Or Sefata Brodo.
When for pay no.
Yeah.
Original song. Ejuman bayam wayam
Na oye besia.
Oh, but the constitution
Oh, yeah,
also
Bessia
endorses the
wa
president
bin-
in making some of these appointments to
Besia wa been double dose.
Otherwise, then you may have those who, imitating how you dance, may decide to shift their ways.
Oh.
Say that, on the basis of that.
That's
First of all,
won't feel region, but the woman is qualified.
yes,
Yes.
that's
She is
the
highly
big thing.
qualified. Me yaka there.
Hey, on there.
Oh yeah, me there. Odo of me region. Kwame na bio and bio of me region.
Region I made for
Oh yeah, few. Na ma kwesi. Again. Oh, I can. Adopted adi.
Son, no.
Enyemina kwesi Saki. Okay, UN General Secretary. Inya je ye dey wusi.
But you want UN General Secretary.
Okay, yeah, security.
President of the General
Ah.
Assembly. President of the
Security
General.
Council.
No. President of the General Assembly.
First African head.
Yes.
Well, no.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, interest, you want to know if you winnable.
No.
And the winning baby war.
Oh, Baba.
Because Conquesa can know if you winnable.
On office enya.
Senior, but not
to
or to Winneba. There must be something in Winneba.
Access at all.
Obi Simpocho, she's from Goman Pota.
Tokonu.
Also Goman Pota.
Oh, okay.
Well, the report that came in says it was Winneba.
Yes.
But thank you for the information
we
all
have
the
a
same.
lot of was in Pafuna one fanciful or Winneba. Not in. Kwame,
Alote?
Miss, I'm highly disappointed in Professor from Bombarding.
Why are then?
Okay, them Galamsey issues here had to intervene for one of his staff. Okay, when Minyo Gokuba Kunzi case to court, you remember?
Oh, of course, in a chopan.
You know, more Pachoma could draw casing. Yeah, politics wasn't meant for Professor Frimpong.
Hanaka them Joe.
Mama Gajo.
What do you mean?
Oh, Nazizia, what to know?
What on then? Hey,
Oh,
he is an accomplished
the name-
man.
Look, the name Frimpong Boating. Okodu baby was Omeima. He was highly regarded, highly respected.
Still is.
Kwame Onyazibo.
Still
Yeah,
is.
my wife in Yinika Yedmo cardio at the center hall. No, so about Dr. Sebo or something like that. Mrs. So Obefiene or Kapapena Sama. Was from Bon Boating. Many ye lecture. Former Minister of Health, meaning your troubles.
Obi, Basem.
Moon go into details.
Okay, my
Oh, Mrs. Ya Beshama Roba. And as a result, we in the fee health ministry.
I am Mr. Lecture.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth.
Peace FM.
Professor Mills, anytime.
Kwame. Why, Missy, but Nana, da Mitty news item there. He's going to contest for MPP flag bearership.
2007.
No, me say this man is not serious.
What do you mean?
Yeah. It been more when you're politicians so. And when they were exposed to know.
So then?
No, in one. Hey, your man, mayo. Why exposed to know?
Hey, my mayor asking then.
Hey, your man, mayo in there. One man position. No worry, where you made for her. Na what's a manga said to committee? Me ya dam, we will be an Casamo, Obi and Casamo, and mobile public. No, so no politics can go, you know. This is not cardiothoracic.
No,
Or your cardiothoracic.
no, everybody.
Into my Facebook, go me say cardiothoracic political versus the Kojo Yap who dey for town.
But in some no kind, it doesn't matter whether a cardiothoracic or everybody.
We will digest into it.
You mean we'll digest it?
Yes, the Ghanaians. I mean, I cry for the president.
That's amazing.
Enyima, when you are a president, you become a prisoner. It is those strongly around you, those entrenched around you.
Now, and off brofanabo.
You know, those entrenched around you, one no will take decisions. enti musuma President Nana Akufo-Addo with all the good intentions to move this country forward. Ghanaians are not prepared to help President Nana Akufo-Addo to move this country forward.
How about Ghanaians?
Yeah, because them galamse ya niya politics. Eti nansia wo sizi in mo anyama na was aga meyinum wo meyinum license wo meyinum license. We've politicized galamse. So how do we succeed? In 2020, a month for two muko galamse site kakade yeba what to me yeba yebomo wa galamse. Mr. President, I don't think you will succeed in this galamse fight.
Don't you?
No, I don't think so.
Say anyway agena.
I mean president ajemeje yensu nya ansay. Look, yeah, a megadon obaban oye emiria obodu a ye nya nsu na ya no. Yeah, megadon because nobody wants to help. Obia politicize everything. Why should the ejunwa as o many or koneden ye koneden what he ba hey what he ba me just there yera Dr. Kabila aka nsempia president wa initiate, and these are policies are say yinya ye embracing yinya ye fight it up ya obo move this country forward. But the politician as we are or there yes say aden na ye chance na ye ba na ye so ye be ye kakra na ye ko nti ye de ngete Ghana obodu Ghana bodu hi Gwami.
Yeah.
I may also agree with Kabila on the issue of presidency rubbishing the report. Me assure the reporting so no question there okay feel presidency. We are politics in your make you have to manage it internally. On your time behind Eddie Bibi Baba Sidama Ozabi. Since you are also war committee no where one man committee. No, that's the problem. Is it one man committee? And so where are the others? And so the Mia or present I'm a pressy. And so there on my new committee members in your back now. One man. How can one man become a commission? Now you're secretary. Now so you're chairman.
No problem. There can be a one-man committee. There can be a one-man commission. But once it is done, then he forms a secretariat to work with him. So
when a commission is formed, there's a secretariat.
No, but there can be a one-man commission.
Alete was sole commissioner.
No problem.
I may agree, but you see the sensitive nature of this issue calls for a committee. Look at what he has done to the government of the day.
What if he's telling the truth?
If it is not the truth,
what if it is?
If it is not, Charlie, Ghana yepe konkonsa. Ake anukum konkonsa. Nti waka faba ye potro ho. Nti obia baka mo opie. Nti no mama gade there this period of time nana ni 6-year period juma was about TVET despite people criticizing the policies still moving forward to make sure that Ghana succeeds. Then here come this galamsey. Yeah, I'm Mr. President. Jem no man angasa boade dama here cocoa farms on say here nkube farms on say Yeah, adi ndoba yedua wo yasa asedo. The onka yema e koma beti yen the minti you are fighting against Galamsey manu incomims oriba.
Enjoy Jim.
Enjoy Jim. Leave it.
Then what happens?
Oh, Charlie.
Hello, dear.
Yeah, Ghana one. Bibia. There's group of people who will be making sure that that area and succeed. That is the Ghanaian. Me say, when you look or you go into Ghanaian narrative, and there at the people behind you there.
FM.
Once I'm tum. Wo bibia or them sign and what them can be papa for who. You want your politicians here Ghana here. Yes, say ade. Oh, yeah, by ye be in ye so I didn't want naughty into me ye. Well, just look at it there. Me post a Juma Honorable Kwesi Makwata waye. Me say he's the best road minister ever appointed in this country. Ejuma Orokodo na mu show baby bojo ase Adesu road obi di ba mu Facebook page there e oye Pitin Ozabadi
Sapitin
Sapitin just like that what to be meeting hold the bay was he yashasi 8 years ago na me say then how will this government complete all projects that have been abandoned even before they came into power? We should bear in mind that there were a lot of projects that were abandoned before the MPP came into power.
Back to Frimpong Boateng.
No, American child there, he had been the way we think. The way we think in there. Sure, I what the videos, whatever, was on the social media. Hey, in Yagalam saying that you the impunity. And say, how do we succeed? Mr. President, I am for Washington. All the class of our society, Obia won't be. Politicians, you won't be. Both, opposition and in government. Why can I say? Okodu baby, Mr. President. But
president to me yandam. Equia to Ampem to Equia Pim says, Chairman General, my brother, did other members of the committee privy to the report? Did the report provide details of the number of meetings the committee held and when? Did Professor Frimpong Boateng attach minutes of the committee meetings to the report, or was it just a personal opinion formed on hearsay? The portion about Kojo Ponkroma is pathetic. His response to Ponkroma's rejoinder is even worse. Instead of addressing the substance raised by the information minister, Professor Frimpong Boateng resorts to comparing Ponkroma to his fourth-born son. How? By the way, why did Professor Frimpong Boateng accept to chair the committee when he and his son were involved in mining? Was it a clear case of conflict of interest? Equia to Ampem. To Equia Pim.
Nti Kwame obey there neighbor na ono Professor Frimpong neighbor na oye Galamsey or your first one.
And Pacho minyim de ne ba ye Galamsey.
Oh, nya ja what be?
Ma minyim ne de ne ba ye mining. Minyim de ne ba ye Galamsey. For clarity's sake, I'll leave it there.
Mining in you won't difference or more.
Let me commend Kabila for speaking for voiceless Ghanaians. The government led by Akufo-Addo, the president, has done an incredible job in spite of global challenges. The only problem is a lack of communication and appreciation. I was surprised to see the construction of Obuasi town roads from Sokode to Ho, but no one is talking for the president and his government. Are we waiting for Baumia to speak about it before? God save MPP government communication, George Kwarteng in Adenta. This one says, I'm truly heartbroken at the double standards and outright lies of Nanado's government in the fight against Galamsey, as stated by Professor Frimpong Boateng. Very shameful, very disappointing to keep mute after the submission of the report after 2 years. And then tell Alote Jacobs, a.k.a. Neofito Sa, that I disagree with him if he says the president should allow it to get rotten. If the president has personally not intervened, in spite of the problems, imagine where we would have been by now. Alote, let's encourage the president to fight on. Nana Hesi Ojiri. And then, let's see. Tell Alote Jacobs to dwell on the content of the report and stop attacking the writer and digressing from the issue. Nana Boateng sends that one. I want to know why Professor Frimpong Boateng was hesitant in releasing the report. Is it because some persons related to him are involved? Prof was not fair to those whose names he mentioned because he should have gotten their responses to include in it. Eric Amponsa Boateng, tax expert, sends that one in. And then this one says, Kwame, the impression is being created out there that the Chief Justice nominee is from Winneba. Please, she's from Guman Potter. My fellow Goma person, let's celebrate her. Alexander Aban, former MP, Gomwa West. Okay. When we say this government is clueless, empty, confused, and has come to milk this country, people don't understand. Alote Kabila Kwamena will say we are talking without fact. Frimpong Boateng must be awarded a gold medal. We now know that upon Kroma, Kwekubako and Co. Well, Bobo Kelebema come. You see, you're also saying
gold medal, chair melting from Galamsey side. Yes, Ahmad.
Anyway. Oh. Kwame Sefakai, I am very sorry that your name is not mentioned in Professor Boateng's report, but Kweku Baku's name. Oh, you don't add your name. Why? Why do you want my name mentioned in it? Just don't pay me on. Just as somebody has said, but say scandal by because I make a you, Marty. Anyway, we are seeing this. Kwame, I enter now.
Yeah. And bring you want to me a pamam no one.
A best shelving for now.
But our best foot into 2024 and beyond. I'm Vice President Baumia. No doubt about it. No doubt.
Robert Tetekoman, good morning. Minya, oh, Jack wants him. Robert, I can't quite mean befita. But then to enter na Jemiwa. Anyway, Kashigwe, new mother. Kwame, enter now.
Correct. Kwame.
Yes.
Ma order open Casido. My yenchechum na yencha a shem fam. And the Obiara retain on yet Galamsey. You just say qua, you just say on another board, yon. Or ye non crobata. It is a Chairman General Tine Gumnin Painful Watanichi, or Galamsey menace and complicity of state officials. How do we curb it and sign all the sub teams in Aba? NDC to petition Parliament Special Prosecutor over IMC. That is one. From Boateng. As for the first one, NDC to petition. Say Constitutional Instrument 7. Muntu muda sa amend na. Oye Shraj. Ekuya wana mdwa wadi ye wejuma. Na that constitutional instrument na. On yan shadi on ya sha os me. Shraj said there are some cordom who what in can where they often preliminary investigation. Obotum we launch full scale investigation without, if it was SHA, then they would necessarily have to do preliminary investigation. They say May. And see what's in can show na so one with the lawyer of often prima facie and sanity. I'm telling you that this matter yesterday the Moshe in television must be truthful to your own professional training. This matter. So as a Shraj by a preliminary investigation, they will not get to the point where there will be full-scale investigation. I'm telling you.
Why is that?
Oh, Kwame, remember. I'm telling you. Now, Kwame. And there has been a certain mix-up.
Of?
Mamun correct and also. on your report ena omanpain odema CID there ohwehwemo ena omanpain na so odi statement haba ma omanpain bi say CID there one investigation about 2 or 3 weeks ago Professor from Paul Boatin Ghana Television GTV mna wayene ye nkitawuzi bi to be broadcast later.
Yeah.
And then the last portion of the interview and all the accusations is by I can tell you no in the marshal I can tell you no in the common obisa prof yebo you cry I do the who come excavator was why you 500 interministerial committee on illegal mining. Now, Prof, and they can say, Chairman whom bring clarity on this matter. If one Norbert Chairman there, Ibinum, and I will point to his own report. Ibinum, I want premier. And I direct all on this matter to go to the net and look for this interview. Also, Ibinum, I want premier, some wa bem. Party. No, what should what to itum? What to the mother to me there? Excavators, why you all intended there will be him a fee ministry. No, that is what he said. Those were his words. The 500 and now what's it? Why you won? Or you bill my wa bim? Our party. No, what should I to itum? No, can out the boss from there. There were many or there were others in the Jubilee House. Galam saying what's him Tintiminum Papa. Enti dam kasan wo GTV. And new other news channels. What shall I say what the news? So but yeah, for the past 2 weeks or so, on your report yesterday there was a mix up. And today Kabila and Lotte they have firmed up this mix up. On your day, the report you show we no we can see I didn't say ma abayaka there. No, these were your own grievances and opinions. No, them are some no can GTV. Emma news items about no. Then police investigate this matter.
So the response from the president
should
have stated so.
In Saboteur.
In Saboteur. Wow.
Are you wrong?
At inti or you're not some no can and the president of the police. But this was in the bosom of Jubilee House. Or you're the reporting as far back as in March 2021. Kwame, politics. Obi bakade inter response ofia bem ban. Politically, it might not sit well. But Kwame said, when you lawyer, I'm under mind. But said, when you want the report here, you may not be far from agreeing. You may not be far from agreeing with the response from Jubilee House, our press releasing that these are grievances of his own. Kwame. Say read the report now and I'll get there. I look forward to see and the committee looked and said me I all of it me I all throughout the report to the extent that some points he said some members of the committee abandoned the committee. A Ministry for Works and Housing, and then which one? They all abandoned. Into the report, it was more of what he observed, what he had heard. Kwame, not a single point, allegation, backed by solid evidence. And I'll get there. Don't be in a rush. I'll get there. But first, let me put a caveat there. Professor from Paul Boatin, his service to this country is not in doubt. In the area of medicine, Kwame, ma oba baye mode oye thoracic center bobwaze to build a core of medical professionals. That one, Kwame, it's not in doubt. Ejuma wa yedzabua was that area in that field. Samatanwa Musolman. But I'm telling you that in this matter, them the onu Kwame. Seri your funasa na ashawozi. Them the onu on ya happy. Na you wanje there. Ebilum wobon sombo and over cancer ma to know that was say anything. In much the same token, Professor. Said you will be so na ahwe so. Osana samre cancer ma to obi do a. Dem bra mi waka to mu do onye medan. Mama so me kan to obi do na onu mu wanyina do papa me gina do ansa na maka. Kwame in this word, ya wa de kope a yem fasika na de to. Kwame se fa kan tra ho, wa de kope onu de yesika oye wudin.
Yo nyame na adom.
Yes. Kwame na me tra he se me yibi me wo bi. Some ya tentem ye tetaba, some today at the kope midin. Ah, non-church Bible come on Proverbs 22:1, admonishing us that we should choose good name over riches. It didn't happen. Kwame, only da odiwoyim, on no mama wumba, one nanum, one na wa nantum, within enti Serika bibi that obidwa, anari a bibi, the me pay them not ta. Na shade mu wonyina do. Ansanum zaba. Na Kwame
now.
them amazing kamakan. Say reader, let me refer you. Call police probe Professor from Watkins Jubilee House Galamsey allegations. Source My Joy Online. The date is 20th March 2023. Say reader, and it's a clip no sir. Okay, straight away. The oil Galamsey 500 and it was people in government and in the party. No, what to it? Fine. If you go to his report, Kwame, second report now. On the 500 Galamsey, do you know what he says about on it? I say, Joy FM. Is it Joy FM? Yes. Morning show. Morning show, no, Aquarium. In the studio. And now, oh yeah, hosting in it in common. Hosting, yeah, Kojo, this professor, yes, Professor Youngson, but Kojo Youngson.
Yeah, Kojo Youngson.
Oh no, in it in common. And the caller, a certain caller. Obi Frere join the whole program. Once you have been interviewed, they give space for callers also to call a Be Frere. Kade. Oh yeah, the previous Peter Amewu when he was in the ministry of lands and natural resources. Or your CZ 500 excavators. Call not by you in his report. Now call in the ban. Or you don't know there was nothing like that. But the host, however he answered it, the host would turn it. Also, if you want to know about news, look at these two things. One, from his own mouth.
Jubilee House and party people.
Yes, party people.
Two, a caller on.
See within to destroy him in order to oust him. But I have even difficulty with this ousting. A president has a 4-year duration by way of tenure. If you are appointed, you run through the full term. He was appointed 2017 and was in office all through until second term. Now I appoint you. That is not ousting. That cannot be ousting. I was appointed in 2017. Second opportunity was not given me. It doesn't amount to ousting.
You've served your term.
Yes. But also, them until now, what you to me? It was all intended to oust him. Now the people are invading the forest and all of that. Kwame, we'll come to all of that. Now, Mama China, do you see the two things here? One, that about the 500 excavator loss, amount for our beam, and now our party, now what to him just to destroy him in order to oust him. Then in his own report, and I refer as many as are listening to me this morning, go to his own report, the genesis of the 500 excavators, how it came about.
It's no longer Kojo Youngson.
It's no, that in the report is where he's saying it's Kojo Youngson. But the interview he granted GTV, which is 2-3 weeks ago, Kwame, I'm sure I'm not making myself.
Following you.
I'm not making myself. No, but Kwame must. It is Kwame who must follow me.
I'm following you.
Kwame is following you.
I'm stimulating discussion.
Okay, fine.
As a moderator.
Fantastic.
Into Chiado.
Fantastic.
He wants you to get better.
So you see the divergence here.
Yeah.
Fine. Kwame, now let's go back to the report. Report Esha Oyareho. Osane. The Jubilee House that he accuses. Kwame Fachamo. Otumfo ate kokodo facham. Asamaka. Sir can some non fi said the menhia ahimfie. Edibam. The menhia doma wo menhia nankasa. What the meeting to minimum. Manual kwadon wakamu bi papa wo hyem bia. I am telling you, it will not even matter that the man who sits on the throne may not be part, but the aspersions are directly on his person.
It is the mass making you can find.
Let me tell me there. Sefa menhia there adibia akodo. Amanfo awowo ohen no courtyard. Wo hihema wori ye bi nti menhia. Also akwa it goes up to the Jubilee House. Say kada menhia bami pe. Onfa wo there ote kokodo otumfo nensan hyem direct. Nwa awowo no ho se wo wom bia. Madaba ni fila daban onka wompa when you ifin oka oya otikokodo. You agree or you don't agree?
Yeah.
That's right. So Kwame, so when you say in your report that Jubilee House, it goes up to the very pinnacle of our governance, which is the Jubilee House. Your aspersions are not even on those appointees. The aspersions are on the president.
The highest officer.
Yes, Kwame, what it means. In the Tumbra, Chiresuna, Tumbra Nefido.
Until what said on your president Kasei.
Kwame,
Gabi or only Gabi president, or also Nite Kutegu, also Lord Comey, also Protozoa.
Fantastic.
Or Bobozin.
Fantastic. On the Jubilee House, 3 things. 1, that they are engaged. I've read the report. And see, the portion you read there was commissioned. Kwame, let me give you the full report here. It is here. The report on the work of the IMCIM and the way forward presented to President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Author Professor Kobna from Pond Watson. Date March 19th, 2021. There's nowhere, I don't know where you got that. There's nowhere where it is captured in this report that
he was commissioned.
Nowhere. If the person who sent you the text could refer me, I have read it and read it and read it. Nowhere.
Chado.
And I'm saying that even the IMC thing that he captured there, if you read the body of the report, you don't seem to see a group called IMC. What you see is Professor one person. Now, 3 things. I say, those in the Jubilee House, either they are engaged, 1 thing, support or interfere. 3 things. What you put out there in your report must have the evidence to point to engage, so that if it is allocation gaps, our investigations point.
Yes, you should much there.
Investigation check here there. Hey, Equadam Kobro Forester. And why you cook so home? And you want to see film, you show and now the toja cups, no machines, not today. There, you are providing something. Engagement.
I mean, BBA.
BBA, Sebio, a kind support. Supporting there, Kwame. Oh, a lead person. Proxy, on the way, Maria. But we may give you either moral, financial, all kinds of logistical, to give you the support to enable you do the work, maybe in our name or on our behalf. And interfere. Interfere means that what the IMC was doing, every step of the way, you get these persons coming in and cutting the earth from under them. That's none. Now, then I come to the individuals. Let me start with Osafo. Go to page ahe. Nezin kwa no oyam so. Osafo. Nezin Kwame. My goodness. So 20 page 27 was it? Osafo nezin was 27. Mpocho wadawum Mr. Obi.
Or about the page 27.
27 or so, yes. Osafo Afon is in page 27. And either 27 or 26. Kwame.
Two bonus crew.
1 million you want see. My came out the material. Osafo Afon is in mobile in there. I say, and it is reported. I say.
And it is reported.
Okay, page 27.
27. Kwame, can you read that for us? No, okay,
What I have here, the senior minister.
Read more, Biante.
The senior minister sent someone to me. Okay, remember. The senior minister also engaged in something that was horrible.
Fantastic.
Why is this thing jumping?
Kwame.
Remember, in October 2019, one Mr. Seth Mante, a journalist working with Peace FM, was apprehended because of unlawful excavator sales. In the course of the investigations, Mr. Mante confessed that he was contracted by Mr. John Ufuriata, then National Security Coordinator for the Central Region, and Mr. Eko Ewusi, to use his bank account at the National Investment Bank for what effectively was money laundering. Effectively, the proceeds from the excavator sales were lodged in Seth Mante's bank account. The monies lodged were later cashed and given to Mr. John Ufuriata, who in turn gave some of the money to Eko Ewusi. Said Mante's handwritten statement to the police is seen on pages 27 and 28. The senior minister sent someone to me for a copy of St. Mante's statement as well as a copy of the bank transactions as recorded in St. Mante's bank statement from the National Investment Bank. After going through the documents, the senior minister is reported to have remarked that Eko Ewusi is his boy and will not do such a thing. However, if there was a bad person, it would be Professor Frimpong Boateng. The senior minister then encouraged his emissary and his friends to organize themselves, gang up, and fight Frimpong Boateng. The emissary swore to me that what he told me was true. His love for the MPP and his devotion to duty as a government appointee gave me reason to believe that he was not lying to me. My knee-jerk reaction was to confront the senior minister, but I was so annoyed that I rather decided to inform the president, hoping that he would organize a meeting so the three of us could discuss it. I informed the president, and he promised to deal with it himself. I never had any feedback.
Kwame, you bring in a senior minister, you make such attributions to him.
Serious
Attributions
based on hearsay.
Hearsay. There, Obi no baka cho there. Senior minister, Obaji reporting. Oshen also Obi a ofen ko wisi ana ontumi yadam. Now yes, now from ontumi yadam. Nemum from poor Barton on yin papa. Nti mu nyina won kam mbom. Na won ko hweda wo di wo nyina di wo kwa biado. Hearsay. This is a minister, a colleague minister. Oh, senior. Asema Martin, we brent be catch them. You don't hear from his side. You write a report and say that the horrible thing. You have come to a definitive conclusion. And then the basis for your belief. The basis for your belief. On in there.
The boy
swear. And again, he has love
for the MPP.
And then, my goodness, is the report that we have all been invited here to discuss. This is it. Hearsays. Hearsays. Kwame.
Well, hearsay, not says.
Hearsay to Shraja and
Kwame.
Kwame.
This is what friend a senior minister. Call our own friend Kokrokoo.
Kokrokoo is not paying.
Kokrokoo is in there.
But by the way, purpose, mini reporter I can, but what I have here, it still says here that he was instructed to present a report to the presidency.
Instructed now, which part?
Because what I have here is report on the work of the IMCIM so far.
No.
Okay.
But remember my fee. Report presented to the president, Otta, and what my canning actual.
Now, as Kokrokoo back to no pay him.
Kwame.
Abdul Malik, why quick?
Kokrokoo.
And also quick then.
Kokrokoo is in there. Our friend war phone do. No be sent. Be sent there. Oh, ben. The Merjumakui. Mate, there were to sell one. Na wada room. Oye, Ejumakua. I'm the oil one can say no what the prospecting and can come short inquiry from the minister who was also the chairman. Into today, Seri Juma. Kwabi, obi ntumon fro mbisi wasam. Obi ntumon fro onyu ndin komo. So nya mafraba onyu ndin komo obi se wasama. Then you construe that. Kwame. My belief will be that look, our further investigations pointed us to the point there. Kweku ba kusa na friend or friend or a certain special interest. For baby for by injino. That would to my ground.
Just like that.
Like that. Every single person.
That allegation Upo, was dealt with in Kokubaku's case, defamation case.
In court.
He won against a member of parliament.
In court.
No.
It's quite interesting that court case, Mr. Professor Frimpong Boating was supposed to be a witness.
He refused. He ran away from.
It's not about today. It's not about today.
I mean, topic
say politics. Politically, Benya Binum to chew on this response from the Jubilee House. Jubilee House, look, they looked at this matter with legal eye. I mean, Bosomwa, yeah, here say, yeah, Madiwan Yobubu, yeah, Madiwa Grenofafa, or yet, it would be big to win some other chair that Mama Gina doing. You were saying that people threw into the air that 500 excavators, you and you are not happy. In fact, he grieved on that matter in the interview. His facial appearance and all of that, his demeanor, he wasn't happy with that 500 excavators. What's why you want somebody? I see the pain in you, but Professor, you are not the only human being. The others you have accused here equally have feelings and they are human beings. Inti obeye ya ode inyi bibi a igina do na bobu bon hotin na bon hosomba abon hosombo
just like that.
That is the issue Kwame asema ya kan ho ni ni report yi by say 2 days ni my reader my see reader na pay matter wa buy ya it's a matter me carry mu na me so I don't want Kwame to bon hu we twam si bi na matter me read over and over. I ask myself, his leadership of the IMCIM was also crucial. How was it that he was not able to get all the members to work around? What happened?
Well, did something happen we don't know?
Kwame.
How would you know?
Kwame. Oman paying offer interministerial ministries no count bomb no your opinion. He believed in your ability. And see, ability there. You get your colleagues to come along with you. Fine, that is the word. Come along with you.
Show leadership.
So yes, come along with you. What happened?
What are you suggesting?
That Kwame, there was a deficit because this report is not in the name of IMCIM. It's not in their name. It's not. And if you go to the peroration, the last bit, that is where he himself has signed, and you don't see attribution to the IMCIM. You don't say it. Just Professor Frimpong button sign. Just that. And it is all his observations. At some point, Kwame, in the report, not small kind there. He was the last. I may not get the quotation right, but he was the last man standing. The last man standing. And that, yes, was the last man standing. And you see, sexual report now, everybody else was guilty, everybody else was wrong, but him. Everybody. In fact, Ministry of Transport were new because they were supposed to ensure that the ban on excavators. Also, 1 year, 2-3 days, was the man. Ministry of this ministry.
Dwayne.
Lands no forestry commission wakasa asuma chairman oba hwape no sesan oyan basa all the forests about 47 of them gave them out concession today. Every single ministry that was part of the interministerial except water works and housing and every single individual, they all came to be accused, but for himself.
The last man standing.
The last man standing. I said now, eventually, I was betrayed. I was stabbed in the back, and I was abandoned. I mean, it tells you that there's some pain in you.
That's right.
Pain, which is driving all of this.
Same.
Now, Kwame, maybe because say discusser, I come to Charles Bisu. As Bisu, as I was secretary for Central Region, was secretary for Western Region. No question.
He was Western Region.
Yes. Secretary.
I said, as you were secretary for Central, he was secretary for Western.
Yes. Disappointed.
Colleague regional secretary.
Disappointed.
Why?
There are matters on the table where my chairman Abu Bob man for Sumbo. Oh, there in space. And what to more Cassan was Samwiti. Your contribution to this debate matter was that you were also. So your point is this: that yes, someone never woman and also. Why? By this pronouncement, you deepen the suspicions. You are giving further to our enemies out there.
So, Minister, as a man, enemies, no. As a man, responding.
No.
They are responding.
In the report, in
yes, Kobina Ada Oya Messi, Asam Todo.
Who reviewed my experience?
And experience, no, you didn't come up with any experience.
Really?
Yes, because if you did, it would not be one that you are taking it this lightly.
What if Chief of Staff Bisane there on the person? I'm sure reporting brain. Maybe I want kind of on as part of a committee, Anna.
Well, this is in the realm of conduct.
No, but of course I'm asking you.
Yeah, but Kwame, so them not other one from the very intro. This report is in response. But
Obi I draw my attention to Kweku Bakun open letter.
Open letter, mana.
Under Kweku Baku, so I respond.
Yes. Yeah. I've read it.
Nah, I say, Chairman General, in the letter that Kweku Baku wrote, he said he called for Professor Frimpong Boateng in October 2017. But Professor Frimpong Boateng says in February 2019, Kweku Baku called about CNG Alexa. Oh. Almost 1 year, 5 months. So I say Kweku says he called him in 2017, October. But Professor Frimpong Boateng alleges that in 2019 February, 1 year, 5 months after Kweku Baku's call, Kweku Baku called to tell him about. Okay, I don't get it.
Yeah, so it means that even the recall of the date, they are wrong.
Oh, but Kweku responded to him.
Yes. Enjoy. No, me picture there. Kwame, remember Charles Bisu.
That's a Charles Bisu there.
At all. What madam to me, I'm saying that it deepens suspicions, mistrust. It makes it appear there. Yes, it makes it appear there. Every committee in Majama and Mukadi. And again, the question that is posed to you in there. Into a him too well as secretary to the committee. Him too well, the chairman. Now, Doria him. Nanka social no by your Bacadam Semi, not about to me. Why? Obi can ask us why? Or tell why, where, when, who, why?
And you Lord
What's the Jawa? No, that's you. You're bringing on your casa. You're bringing this is a report that is mentioning names and casting aspersions, sullying people's reputations.
Let them have this innocent names.
Let them have the space to respond. Not if you are your baby brain. Why so chairman? Why so won't be? So what does that mean?
No, Jade, Futum from
on your what?
And the innocent bystander observer, so no chairman say, from a chairman, from a secretary, from also Zabaka, chairman, no chairman, Mugaton, I'll give you the music. I think, and what does this, how does this reflect on the president who had that trust and confidence in you and put you there? Someone, Kasa, Moya de Mia. It was needless. That was not the time for him to have spoken. Needless. It's Kwame. And somehow where we, the entire country, Obiala, Opedo Humoti, Yede Biana, Warangasa, a probing na married dada. One fine Yamanku, or Tomayanku, or Todium. Yeah, and that's it. Obin Wabonizin, Wakasama to Nodo. Into the Minty, Yija Bawafum, man named the same. Ochina Sabia one yawa. Obaya uba, ana wunana, asam to do. Kwame. Asam ntodo.
Onya sambopo.
Makatro wuti nka wonanka. No be ordinary abu keke. Senior minister. Your colleague minister.
You arm your enemies against you.
Yes.
Against
colleague
your party.
Minister. The Obi Abakachro there. Senior minister are reporting. Also, he kweusa na there ofuratan on yadam. Nemum from pump what no yin pabon. We na muka come kojo upon from pump. Kojo
upon chroma.
Kojo that he would be so naive. Forgive me if I use this word. Childish. That he will put both MPP and NDC aligned journalists
to come after you.
That look, Memo Kasha Dodwa, what baby Forest Dodwa.
Forest Gate Hotel.
Forest Gate Dodwa. Mafa NDC aligned journalists, MPP aligned journalists. Na me wa kasha baby. Na makaka gumaswom, akore gumaswom, the munko commission them. Munko say from what?
How can that happen?
Na ewo baby te baby obi academia keke wan fam bibi njina dubi amba na wonu agiri bose gukojo oponkomo na imase yes oh nothing wa ba na nam da apado na abenta no ba be ya na do professor is I am amora ho a sound responsible here obi a weke gina obi for whatever mischief ogina kojo oponkomo ne constituency no yeah video recording bi na all around the commentary de gojo upon kroma aka for Chinese fu bi ma wa bahama wo ye oye galamsey gojo upon kroma in responding to your earlier allegation when you came back this is what you put there Kwame
Kwame
wa we firi kekeke we firi yantam bantam papata kekeke a be ma be fa bia no o hwehwe wi ne abatam wo I'm saying that professor in that area of national service par excellence. Fact. And every day, any time, I'll be upstanding and give him the ovation. But this matter, disaster. Complete disaster. Ma what you want your done? Man, show young kunaim, nam fan yet, in dubia, bibia beginato. That's the boss. The person himself has done it. So it reflects his character, it reflects his reputation because he has done it. But when he has not done it, he has no knowledge of what you allege, and you decide to allege.
Wana kojo upon kroma.
No, all of them. Kwame. My share. What friend? Unwakania. Tego. Lord Comey. What friend?
Lord Comey also on you and Gazapoda.
Massa. Question report.
But you see,
question about them.
But you see, he is trying to bring on board these personalities because they play the key role at the Jubilee House. That's why he's doing that.
Let anybody who has read this report let them point to the contrary. Let them point to the contrary. Now look, Kwame Duncan, you are wrong. In this area, this is what he gave. This is the evidence. Let them point us to the contrary. I don't see any of such provision of solid evidence. None. And I'm saying that.
But also President Kufuor ne garden which we can go to Galamsey
oh.
But JP for wa gasa no.
Kwame
na.
Well, maybe subtly, as I've said, even if it is not subtle, already this report reflects and raps on the president. That's what we do.
Most was in the shape.
And on your say, sir, on your adibia, our political eye, or you don't reflect and it rubs badly on the president because you have set up to the Jubilee House. But here, he comes to add a certain picture. The president virtually is sitting and looking on. That's what
that is it.
Achim ending. That's what it means. So that is just sitting.
That is it.
Rather than sitting on.
Because now the garden crowd boom.
Yes. That's the information is putting out there.
And when it is not true.
But what if it is true?
Kwame, have you been there?
Also, cohort the Otin or the bulldozers
An excavator.
excavators. I thought that you were going to write a report. You would have captured pictures, videos of all of those areas, and then post, so that you add it to this report. As, oh, Professor, you are talking nothing.
Chairman General.
Nothing of evidential value. Quote Kokrokoo. Nothing of evidential value. All you have done is that this is what was happening close to the present residence at Chebi. No support, nothing.
All this is pointing to only one thing.
You say that's
it's a wake-up call to His Excellency the President. Look again at your intelligence subsector and the communication management. Chairman General.
Karamove.
Terry Adama Few, the book or Troy by Nkrumah's side, The Labor and the Wounds. Okotu George Bernard Shaw.
Today.
Or say, people and government never learned anything from history nor acted on principles from it. Sɛ abakɔ sɔm ɛkyerɛ yɛ bibia ɛnyɛ wunyuma ana o papa yɛ nko a ɛna edi bu man sɛdeɛ wusi ma amanfoɔ so hu ɛsɔ deɛ wayɛ no mu no edi mu paa o mmɔden bɔ nyinaa akyi na sɛ amanfoɔ hu ne sɛ o mmɔden bɔ no wɔn ɛɛto fi agu ho na efi no mmom edi ntin a o mmɔden bɔ no ebi a daakye bi ɛna ɛbɛkae abɔ odin pa di mɛsrɛ sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛ interest Mr. President me interest ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ I campaign for you in 2020 and I want you to succeed to give credence to that. They toss to be Kwame.
Campaign ma Dr. Bawomi.
Oh, John, I can't change. I can't change on normal occasions.
We on
normal occasions.
Chairman General. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Mention the legacy that is to be left. Na yen kan unu say mampani enne ya ye kasai no Ghana for dodo ni nyina ya hwe ya ye democracy na dey to trial wonu ma eto abama wo enya agidie wo mu say wanamontuo wo modern bo ebe ma arehemu e wo ye ka bi ma mi nkabu na ebe di mu no niam bi say toto na se niam bi say toto na se here say ake yes you can manage the information subsector. Why not?
My final question.
Intelligence
communication.
Oh, Miss, my very final question.
Yes. To honor.
No, I'm just throwing it in.
Okay.
Sir, Isha Professor Frimpong Boatinadia. And the NDC for so. Well, some there was record charge and OSP, right?
Yeah, the man opposition.
But sir, Isha report room. Isha report room. He also mentions NDC for.
Yes.
There was where he be.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What do we do with Galamsey?
And where is that? Where's his evidence?
But how he has skewed the whole thing he becomes a hero in the eyes of the opposition.
He mentions a former deputy minister who is now an MP for Wasa East or so.
Yeah.
Who is into mining.
Yeah.
But those are words.
Nah,
those are words.
That's what I'm coming to.
How?
So, what do we do with Galamsey?
And then he says that
that should be the major
question. Even when the ban was lifted or so, it was the NDC that was given more opportunity because they had more resources, even in our time. That's what he says in the report. I mean,
Kwame.
Where
Me
he's
there-
driving us towards.
Kwan bɔne a yɛfa so ama ho kwan ma nipa kuwo ketewa bi wɔn a ɛfa kwan bɔne so atu fam agudeɛ no wɔn nɔɔso
ɔhɔ na asɛm no nti
Kwame
sɛ
wɔn
ɛbɛn
nɔɔso sɛ ɔman no nyinaa yɛatena se ayɛ nhwɛ ha ma nipa kuwo ketewa bi ɛnam adufuri pɛsɛmenkominya ɛne asisie ne nokora yɛnka nti yɛma ɔmo di ɔman no nyinaa nya no yɛn nyinaa yɛka ho bi yɛtu so saa yɛbɛtumi asi ano ntɛmpa yi a ɛno na medi gyina so aka sɛ you see 2 years mfie mmienu ntamu nie minister asɛm a medi kankan na ɔne mi anya adwene no ɔnkyerɛ mu a wodi ma yɛ sɛ saa na nka response a free jubilee house no baeɛ a menyini sɛ nka mɛka sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ nka ɛdane look at how you took your time to raise the issues and responded to each of them appropriately them report no response no what was it? What was he seeking to do? What in fact did he actually do? You are saying, sir, it was in response to Professor Frimpong Boateng's interview 3 weeks ago. I didn't have response didn't state so. That this is not in response to a purported report he brought to the presidency.
But how this report even found itself into public space?
Thank you.
It was after President made that reference
The
to the police. And
you see me, my worry, and you are feeding into my argument that it is a poorly managed intelligence and communication subsector. In a government, when your finance minister is more powerful than your national security minister, it's a worry.
It's for finance minister.
Yeah. I mean,
Me say, in a government, when your finance minister becomes more powerful than your national security minister,
how is that definition?
It's a worry for your governance and the management of that
how
sector.
is that definition?
But how do you determine?
How is that definition of
How do you determine that?
Yes.
Kwame,
Yes.
finance itself must be guided by intelligence eyes.
I didn't go.
It must be guided by intelligence hand. Minister, the intelligence subsector is the octopus. It's the government of control behind government.
Let me do something.
It protects the presidency from even the president if he becomes a danger to it.
By this point, a stretch of what you have said.
Say
You will be a individual, a or your constitutional architecture, although be an exclusive report to the president. Your point is that when that person does the report to the president, one that is meant for the president, even under those circumstances, the national security must have it. Is that the point?
And Pacho, why aren't you allowing me to quote my favorite A.B. Crenson? Humana Semba, BB Dimo, go to check up.
No one's have a question.
Also, so
Humana Semba, BB Simo, go to check up.
No,
Humana Semba, BB Simo, go to check up.
What Professor Frimpong Boateng Ayen is to be a hero in the eyes of the opposition.
A few questions that have come in, then I'm done. Chairman General, do you realize that Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng has not responded to Lord Komi and Charles Nite Kotego's denial of the accusations? In fact, I fault the Chief of Staff for even receiving the shoddy report. The Chief of Staff should have asked him to go and bring a report of the committee, not a compilation of personal gripes and idle gossip. Ultimately, Professor Frimpong Boateng should have just stuck to heart surgery. That's what Alute Jacobs also said. Heart surgery. This one says, Kabila says what? Our finance minister is more powerful than you. I will not continue with some of these messages. You will just put me into trouble. Somebody says, repeat to Baby Zimo, go to check up. So
No. My goodness.
Oh yeah, because no saman winyam. Because no to mamete. Also twa humana somba. Not the BB Zim to go to check up. Koshe.
Okay.
Eti Kabila. Whether he's more powerful than he or who. Which one?
Whatever has a beginning has an end.
Gabila, but let me tell you. Gabila, let me tell you this.
And so Kokrokoo has
When
an end.
you are not close to presidency, you see things differently.
You have been playing before.
FM.
A
lot.
Yeah, man.
A lot, baby.
I love Nana Akufo-Addo and I love Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Dry one. And before I go, me mama bako Kumasi and na Madam Agnes Aban Mensah Kumasi. Happy birthday to you, Madam Agnes Aban Mensah. Love to you from your dear husband, Mr. Aban Mensah, and your children and grandchildren. God bless you richly, Mama. We love you. Happy birthday. A very big thank you to Bernard Alote Jacobs, James Kwabena Bonfair, and Kwamena Duncan.
Peace FM.
Yentutu Nyanko. Okukuseku, I see you out there. Blessed to keep your dreams and hopes alive is all you have. It's a tough world out there, but still, we rise. And of course, my prayer for you is in the book of Numbers. Numbers 6:24-26. And so when you stop to say a prayer, remember to say one for me too. God bless. Good night.